All right, let's cut right through all the noise today. We're here to give you the real verdict on open source AI. No hype, just the raw utility. We're going to break down exactly what it is, show you the simple stack you need to get started, and then we'll walk through some actual demos. We're talking powerful AI that you can run on your own machine completely for free. So let's dive in.
You know, if you've ever thought twice about uploading a sensitive document to a chatbot, or kind of winced at your monthly API bill, then this one's for you. Honestly, these are the two biggest roadblocks in AI today, and believe it or not, open source is ready to solve them both.
So first things first, let's map out this new landscape. The world of AI is really splitting into two very different paths, and knowing the difference, well, that's the key to unlocking its real power. Okay, so what is open source AI at its core? It basically means the keys to the kingdom. The models, their internal brains or weights, the actual code. It's all out there for the public. You can grab it, you can change it, and you can run it any way you want. This is a huge, huge shift from the kind of black box model we've all gotten used to. The choice really boils down to this trade-off right here. With closed source models like GPT or Claude, what you're paying for is convenience. You get a simple API, but you're locked into their system, you're paying for every use, and you're handing over your data. Open source completely flips that script. You handle the setup, sure, but the reward is total control, massive cost savings, and, this is the big one, absolute ownership of your data. You know, just a couple of years ago, this wasn't even a real discussion. Closed source models were just better. But that all changed in early 2024 with the release of DeepSeek. This was a really powerful open source model that could finally go head-to-head with the big guys. And that single release, it kicked off a whole new era of competition and innovation. So, with all that said, what's the final verdict? Let's actually weigh the pros and cons to see if making the switch to open source is the right call for you. The advantages are pretty compelling, I have to say. First up, you get complete control. That means running models on your own laptop, on your own servers, ensuring your data literally never leaves your site. The cost savings alone can be an absolute game changer, just getting rid of those recurring API fees. And for industries like finance or healthcare, being able to audit how the model works isn't just a nice to have, it's a must. And maybe the coolest part is you're tapping into a global community of developers who are making this stuff better every single day. And that bit about global innovation, that isn't just a talking point. A partner at the powerhouse VC firm Andreessen Horowitz said recently that he estimates 80% of their new AI startups are building on Chinese open source models. I mean, that is a staggering number. The center of gravity in AI development is shifting, and it is shifting fast. The data totally backs this up. Just look at the download numbers. Before mid-2024, US models were what everyone was using. Now, Chinese models have just surged past them, and they're dominating the open source scene. This isn't just about one country winning, it's about this intense global race that's making the tech better for all of us. But let's be realistic here. It's not a complete free ride. The initial setup is definitely more involved than just signing up for a website. You'll also need the right gear, specifically a decent graphics card, a GPU, and enough memory, or RAM, to handle these pretty beefy models. And once it's up and running, well, you're the one in charge of security, maintenance, the whole shebang. But here's the really exciting part. That global innovation we were just talking about, it's already crushing these problems. New techniques are coming out all the time that shrink these huge models and make them run way more efficiently. It's a process often called quantization. What this means for you is that you can now run incredibly powerful AI, not just on giant servers, but right there on your personal laptop. The barrier to entry is just dropping every single day. Okay, so if the why is clear, let's get down to the how. What does it actually take to get up and running? Let's break down the 3 simple parts of your open source AI stack. It's really just a simple 3-layer cake. First, you've got the model itself, the brain of the whole operation. Great choices right now are models like Qwen or Hunyan. Second, you need a way to actually run that model on your computer, and for that, a tool called Ollama has pretty much become the go-to standard. It's as easy as installing any other app. Finally, to build something useful, you need an orchestration tool to connect that AI to other tasks. You could use a visual, no-code tool like NNN, or if you're a developer, a framework like LangGraph. So theory is great and all, but let's see the stack in action. We actually built 2 really practical AI agents to show you exactly what's possible right now.
So, for our first demo, we built something that tackles a super common problem, but one with extreme privacy needs: analyzing your personal finances. This is exactly the kind of thing you would never and should never trust to a public closed source AI. So, here's what we did. We gave the agent a file of credit card statements right on our local computer. Using that no-code tool, N8N, to talk to our locally running AI model, it went through and analyzed every single transaction. And the results? They were honestly astounding. It correctly flagged digital services as the #1 spending category and found over $2,000 in potential annual savings just by spotting unused subscriptions. The verdict on this one is just crystal clear. This entire analysis happened on one machine. No data was uploaded anywhere, no privacy was compromised, and the cost to run it all? Zero. For anyone who deals with sensitive information, that is an absolute game changer. Okay, for our next demo, we decided to tackle a problem I think we can all relate to: the completely overwhelming email inbox. This time, we built an agent using Python that connects to Ollama. Its job is simple: scan unread emails, toss out the junk, and draft replies to anything important. And it worked. It successfully spotted a job interview request, ignored about a dozen promotional emails, and drafted a perfectly professional response confirming availability. Now, just think about the business case for this. A company could automate its entire customer support or sales inbox without ever exposing sensitive customer data to a third party. And because there are no per email costs, it's a solution that can scale up without getting more and more expensive. So, let's bring this all home for the final verdict. What's the single biggest takeaway from all of this? It really just comes down to one word: ownership. Open source AI is such a massive leap forward because it directly attacks the two main reasons people hesitate to really go all in on AI. The privacy problem? Solved. Your data never has to leave your control. And the cost problem? Solved. You can stop paying those endless subscription and API fees.
The verdict is in. It's time to start building with open source. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. With the power to run sophisticated AI agents locally, with total control over your data, and without the constant costs, what are